When working with Redux and multiple reducers, you may find yourself needing a shared action to synchronize state changes across different parts of your application. A perfect use case for that is resetting the global state. Instead of manually resetting every slice, you can define a global Redux action to handle it in just one step. I'll show you how to implement this using my to-do list app as an example, and this is a part of my ongoing React Native SQLite demo series. So if you haven't already, I invite you to check out my tutorials and the playlist I've compiled for React Native. I'll also drop down the link to my GitHub repository in the description so you can follow along with the code. Now, while I am showing this in the React Native app, the same concept applies to React as well. So you can see here, this is a to-do list, there's a list of actions, and I have a settings part. Here I have a clear data action, which is a global action that resets all of the reducers. If you check out my Redux DevTools, and if we take a look at the state, there are two reducers. First reducer is tasks, and the second reducer is related to settings. When I click clear data, it should reset everything back to the original state. So you can see now it is reset due to the initial state. And how it looks like in the code. In the code I defined global action in a separate module. It is called global reset. It is this action, and it is used in both of my reducers if I go to settings slice and task slice. As mentioned, I have two slices defined. And I can use the shared action by defining extra reducers, where when it receives the reset state global shared action, the reducer will return it to initial state. Same goes for setting slice. In extra reducer, it is returned to the initial state. One small change to the global reset, since I need to clear my data, and my data is persisted on SQLite on native and on IndexedDB in the web. I also need to clear the databases. Over here I implemented the clear data action using the create async tank instead of a regular Redux action. In many cases, clearing data isn't just about resetting the state. There might be some backend or local storage operations involved, like clearing the IndexedDB, SQLite, or whatever persistence type that your app uses, maybe making API requests to log out the user or wipe remote data. Since my action clear is an asynchronous operation, I need to await before dispatching any further actions. This ensures that all of the cleanup tasks are completed before the Redux resets the state. And you might be wondering what the heck I'm talking about, and if so, go watch my React Native Redux Expo setup. If that's not the case, I continue. Okay. To call an async Redux section, you will call it like any other Redux section. One exception is that arguments over here there are not going to be serialized, so you can pass any dependencies that you need for your async processes. And it is called in the settings. In my case, when I press clear data, I call this async Redux tank. One more thing what I wanted to mention before concluding this tutorial is I mentioned that clear data calls the ops client clear, and my demo app, this is my demo app that is part of the SQLite series. It has several different persistence types depending if it's on web or running on native. It can run on SQLite or local storage, or IndexedDB shows up over here if it's running on web. But at some point I want to be able to clear the data, correct? And to clear the data I need to clear the current persistence that is being used. So for now, SQLite is being used. So I created my utility class that is called an ops client, and the ops client has different implementations depending on the persistence. And you can clear the SQLite data with this. So there's a meta table where all of your tables are enumerated. You probably don't want to clear the structure, the table, you just want to clear the data. So this is roughly how you can dynamically delete without hard coding all of the list of the tables that your app uses. And for IndexedDB, similar solution. IndexedDB, you can list all of the object store names and just call the object store clear. That clears your data, but it doesn't clear the schema. And what else? Well, the last one is async storage, but it is simple. It is just async storage clear. Anyways, I wouldn't use async storage for my apps. I would use either SQLite or IndexedDB because those have transactions. Async storage doesn't have a transaction, and it's going to be a problem when you have async operations, you will see. Anyways, what I hope you learned is how to use the global Redux section, how to clear SQLite and IndexedDB, and I want to thank you for watching this video.